So as we get into 21, the mechanics of this are fairly simple. The interpretation starts to become just a bit more complex. So let's go ahead and look at the question, would you rather receive $1,000 a year for 10 years or $800 a year for 15 years if the interest rate is 5%? So let's put in our 5 key variables: present value, future value, payment, rate, and NPER. And for A, let's move that over here. We have then a payment of $1,000 a year for 10 years. And I should probably go back and label these things. And then the second one, we have $800 a year. And that $800 comes for 15 years. And in which case, we have a common interest rate in part 1 of 5%. Copy and paste that over, make ourselves some pretty numbers. And now what we're going to have is a basic present value formula using payment instead of future values, because it's this a year for 10 years. That's our trigger. So equals PV with a rate of 5%, and now number of periods of 10. Payment is this, and there's our answer for the first, and there's our answer for the second. Now, this is where it becomes a little bit tricky. And so when we ask the question of rather or worth, what we're really asking is which has the highest present value. And in this particular case, again, because we have a negative coming up as our present value, it makes it look a little bit goofy. So if we wanted to, we could again switch the signs here, just so that we could see that indeed I would rather have something that was worth $8,303. The way I always like to think about it is, how much would you be willing to pay for something? And obviously then the higher amount that you'd be willing to pay, then the more value it has. Now, the beautiful thing about Excel, if I copy these things, come down here and paste it down, and the only variable that's changing here is a rate of 20%. Once I've got my new rate in, you can see that in this case, the value of worth switches from the second cash flow stream to the first cash flow stream. And the reason being is when future values come closer to present, they tend to be worth more. We can see that down here. Here you get $1,000 over the course of 10 years, which is 10 grand. Here you get $800 over the course of 15 years, which is $14,000. But because the timing comes closer here and the interest rate is so high, it actually makes the first one more valuable when you increase the interest rate.